Imagine cooking in a kitchen that's not even yours, having to get used to it, and then having to sell that food to people that you don't actually know. I'm proper stressing out thinking, how am I going to do this? I just want to run away at this point. And if I run away, what are the man I'm going to say? What are the people who ordered going to say? As a food enthusiast, yeah, I can't cook. Welcome back to the Justin Arthur YouTube channel. And today I want to speak about something that has been on my mind for a long time, and I'm going to vocalize it. I'm in my own home today. I wanted to get a new environment and frame it up and make something different compared to what I usually do. So that's why the settings are all different. I got the home vibes, the love, you can feel it. So hopefully the content comes through with the love as well. And if you feel this kind of content, like and subscribe. That was corny as hell. The content comes through with the love. Wow. I want to talk about the fact that as a food content creator, as a food maker, as a food enthusiast, yeah, I can't cook. And let's talk about that. I have imposter syndrome. And what imposter syndrome is, let's go to an official source. I've got Google here. It's the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. In other words, that basically means you don't believe that what you just done, you did that. You don't believe that what you just achieved, you had the talents or skills or know-how to achieve that. But straight off the bat, I know that I can cook. You get me? I know that I'm capable of making dishes. I'm capable of making some desserts. And I'm capable of giving them to people and they will enjoy the product of my labor. But sometimes I feel like I can't do it. And sometimes I feel like the things that I make or the things that I do aren't good and I'm a fraud. I don't know if you guys can relate to that when you feel like whatever you're doing, you're not actually able to pull it off. You're just lying to everybody in disguise. I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm gonna go on a TL one day and somebody's gonna expose me saying, Justin can't actually cook, this food is terrible. It won't happen, hopefully. But in my head, I just worry that I can't do certain things, even though I can. This happens like every couple of days. So for example, if I cook something and it's tasty and it's nice, and my parents will tell me, oh my gosh, Justin, this is nice, or my sisters will say the same, then I don't think I've done that. And I know it doesn't make any sense because I'm the person who's made it, and oftentimes you see me making it, I'm filming myself making it, but still something in my head doesn't make me believe that I pulled it off. It makes me feel like I fluked it, like it just happened by accident. People try my recipes, people taste my food and they enjoy it. But every so often, I just feel like I'm not the one who has these talents, who has these skills, or I don't deserve to have this or have all these achievements. That kind of thinking is crazy because it's so wrong. And I know myself that I can do it, but yet it still picks at my mind. It still makes me think, wow, let me just stop doing this because I don't feel like I'm a genuine skilled person. I don't know why I have SpongeBob in the background, if I'm being totally honest. It just looked nice in the frame. I like SpongeBob. But anyways, the reason I'm making this video in the first place is because I wanted an affirmation to showcase to myself that I can do this, whilst encouraging others that if you have imposter syndrome and if you feel like sometimes you don't deserve the achievements that you get, that's not true, and you should always listen to what you know, and that's the fact that you are good at whatever it is and you can do whatever it may be, and you do deserve whatever you may achieve. So that's what I'm gonna do. And to do that, I'm gonna talk about something I've done this year that I haven't really discussed in detail, which is a great achievement. And recently I realized that one of the things that I do that isn't good is I brush all my achievements. I won't celebrate them and I won't talk about them, and I'll just sort of go on to the next thing. And that's an okay attitude because obviously it drives me to push to get something better. But at the same time, if you don't appreciate what you've achieved, you can't always get to that next level of where you want to be. So I'm going to talk about Munch On Tour. This video is weird, man. I don't even know. Like, I genuinely do feel like I'm comfy on camera right now, but I feel like I'm way too comfy to the point where I'm not actually saying anything. So I hope I'm actually saying stuff. I don't know. we'll see when it comes out. When I'm in the editing room thinking, you know what, let's cut to just in editing. Nah, let's not do that.
Do you know what, yeah? I'm not waffling too much. I feel like you get what I'm saying. But let's go back into it.
So I'm going to talk about Munch On Tour. And if you don't know what that is, Munch On Tour was a fundraiser where I sold food to raise money for charity. Now I work with a charity called Edgy First, who's an international charity that fundraises for schools and students to make education more accessible in deprived areas. And one of the fundraisers that we came up with for this year was the Munch On Tour, which is where we'd go to a couple of university locations and sell food where all the proceeds will go towards the charity. Now this was a great idea and something that I've not even heard of before. And we wanted to do it well. The USP for the whole tour was obviously I am the person cooking. And as an internet cook, an internet sensation, TikTok cook, people would want to purchase from me because they've seen my videos and they've seen how it looks, and they always tell me, oh my gosh, I wish I could try this. But now you can try it and all the proceeds will go to charity. So it was a great idea and we executed it well. But I want to talk a bit about how the process of that came to be and how challenging it really was for me. The reason why I want to highlight these things is because once I understand the work that I put into something, then I can appreciate the praise that I get from it, the achievements that I derive from it. Having that understanding and that clarity will allow me to not think of myself as a fraud and to not think of myself as incapable of achieving some of the achievements that I have. So let's talk about that. I had to come up with the menu, so I tried different recipes from research, trial and error, recipe testing, which was really fun, to be honest with you. It's just literally cooking stuff and does it taste nice? Let my family taste it. Do they like it? If it isn't good, then do it again. Make something new, change it up. Experiment with the spices, experiment and how quick it is to make, because at the end of the day, I need to sell these foods. So that was the first step of the actual process, the actual development of what I'm going to sell. And this included taking photos, designing the menu. And I thank God that I had the team of people working with me because they were able to do the marketing side of things while I focus on the food and the food photography and some of the other content forms. So pretty much everything else. But anyways, once I decided what I wanted to cook, what I wanted to make, we basically started marketing it and getting orders. So it was all based on pre-orders, and I found this to be one of the hardest things because I don't really like interacting with people to ask them to buy stuff from me, because people just display the worst sides of themselves, the most inconsiderate sides of themselves when it comes to purchasing stuff from people that you consider your friends or people that you know, innit? Having to deal with all these customers that are telling me, oh yeah, do you know what, I'm gonna buy it, innit? Or, let me just send you my details, or can I send you my card? I don't want to do it on PayPal. Just dumb stuff, like just being so hard to work with. And if you're watching this and you bought something from me and it was easy to work with, I thank God for you. But a lot of the time people are just so annoying, and that really put me off of just asking people to purchase and marketing it in the first place. So the fact that I was able to grow past that and to become comfortable in telling people, yo, you're gonna purchase, this is what we're doing, I'm raising money for charity, and persuading people to buy, that's a testament to the growth that I was able to achieve over such a short period of time. When it actually came to cooking the food and selling it to people in real life, I never done this before. I never wanted to do this before. And the conditions that it was under, so selling from accommodations that I had never even walked into before, was so scary. Imagine cooking in a kitchen that's not even yours, having to get used to it, and then having to sell that food to people that you don't actually know, trusting that the food is to a good quality. In my head, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. And at each location, we're selling to about 30 people, and it's a lot of food and it's a lot to make. It's a lot to consider, health and safety wise, packaging wise, it actually tasting nice. There was a lot of things to consider. I really wanted to perform well and actually do justice to my name. I've never said that before. It's actually smart. Yeah, I wanted to do justice to my name and produce something that was of a quality standard. But yeah, when it came to selling in Loughborough, it was hard. It was much harder than I really anticipated. And we got there late, and I had to create all of these orders from scratch, and nothing was really prepared, and I was stressing, nothing was made. I'm proper stressing out thinking, how am I going to do this? I just want to run away at this point. And if I run away, what are the man I'm going to say? What are the people who ordered going to say? So mentally, I was going through a battle that was really hard to overcome. But at the same time, I'm running around trying to make all this mac and cheese and this rice and whatever else it may be. And it was proper challenging to continue at a point where I knew that the food that I was making was not to the quality that I like. So if I sold to you in Loughborough and you was one of the people who tried the food, I mean, I hope you enjoyed it, but it was the worst quality compared to every other location. We sold in Birmingham, we sold in Nottingham, we sold in Canterbury, and we sold in East London. And every other location, I got better and better and better at being used to dealing with customers, at being used to looking at orders, analysing how many orders I've got and how much I need to budget for costs. And it was really an experience. It was hard. I would do pretty much everything in terms of creating the final product. So whether that means going to the shop to get all of the ingredients, I spend 2 bills on chicken wings. Over the whole tour, we must have sold at least 1,200 chicken wings. The point where I was so sick of eating wings that I haven't eaten another wing since the tour ended. Buying all these things and paying all of this money at once and having to transport that back home, having to then come home and prepare in bulk orders for like 20, 30 people. It was very difficult. You know, by the time I got to the last location, I was used to selling week in, week out, so I knew what I was doing. We had 60 orders over 2 days, 60 orders over 2 days, which meant I started prepping a day before. I was cooking all day, preparing mac and cheese, cutting vegetables, you know, making pasta, making rice, making, you know, load of fries, whatever it may be, wings, marinating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wings. I would go to sleep for like 3 hours. I'd wake up, I'd start selling, doing more prep at around 11, 12. We'd finish at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock would come and I'd go and do more shopping, come home and do prep for another 3, 4 hours, get around 2, 3 hours of sleep. And I woke up and did the exact same thing. By the end of the 2 days, I was exhausted, and I'm telling you, this was one of the hardest things I've done physically. You know, coming from an athletic background, like there's been quite a few challenging things I've done, but this was genuinely much harder because it was a mental game as well. I had to make sure that my mind was in check so that the orders were still good. And I'm interacting with a lot of people at the same time, trying to keep on top of my phone, the orders, the timing, the deliveries, everything was just, bro, it wasn't easy. Like it was not easy at all. At the end of it, we celebrated for a day. It was like, yeah, we raised £1,600. But really, I didn't really deep like what I just went through. You know, I just went through the hardest period of my life, you know, and a lot of the time, sometimes I don't want to speak about these certain things because people invalidate your experiences because they're not similar to theirs and they're not maybe as brutal as theirs may seem. You know, everybody's going through their own stuff, but to me, this was one of the hardest things I've done. This was challenging. Like, I remember coming home from the first location and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because I was thinking, guys, what if somebody got food poisoning? What if somebody didn't like the order? What if somebody just hated it and, you know, threw it away? Like, I couldn't sleep. Coping with all of this mentally, you know, it wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. This video is getting too long. Let me wrap it up. Guys, if you got into this part of the video here, you might as well subscribe. I'm gonna come true with the cooking/lifestyle content, cooking lifestyle content. So what that means is I will talk about my experiences, and they are really pretty much all centered around either cooking or filmmaking. So if you enjoy it, then subscribe and like, and let me know what you enjoy about it. The moral of this all is for me to show you that regardless of what you may think you're capable of, you can do it. Don't invalidate your achievements. Don't under-celebrate your achievements. You should always reflect, because once you reflect and you realize the size and the scope of what you have achieved and how you've done it, then you'll be able to say, you know what, well done, I'm happy. You know, I actually did that thing there. And it's that mental state of mind that you've really succeeded, because you're now acknowledging that you're growing. And that's one thing that I am trying to learn. So when I just said that right now, really I'm saying it to myself, because at the moment I don't celebrate my achievements and I don't acknowledge and appreciate my growth. But don't grow without having fun and enjoying what you're doing, because if you do that, then it will just become too much of a grind. And there's a problem with people who always want to grind, and that's a whole nother topic. But that's for another time, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you when I produce my next video. I'm not gonna lie to you, this order is absolutely lame. Man's composed today. Composure. Munch On Tour. There you go.
Thank you.
Last order of the day, yeah? You're the last order of the day.
Seriously?
Yeah. Last order of the whole tour. Whole Munch On Tour finished, finally rest. Over the whole tour we've raised £1,780. So that's always gonna go to charity. So shout out to you man who ordered. But shout out to my team. Shout out LQ, shout out Jermaine, shout out Dawit, shout out Mo. Shout out to all the people who let us sell in the locations that we went in. Like Dawit, Shaveda, Gina, Benedict. I can't remember who the other ones are. My mum, my dad for letting me sell in my yard. Shout out Josh for helping me cook. My man Clem Culinary, hit that up. Shout out me, shout out God. And yeah man, I was actually blessed.